Hi, fifth graders. Okay, you've had a chance to read the story about the kitten, and now it's time to answer the questions. And I'm going to kind of help you out here because I want to make sure that you're getting the gist of the story and getting what we need to be writing. So don't forget to put your name on the paper, and let's get started. It says, describe the theme. Okay, the theme is, what did the author want you to learn? And after watching those videos, we know that sometimes there are questions we can ask. So let's think about the main character, which is Sophie. Sophie finds a kitten. She wants to keep it. She knows it needs a good home, but she knows that her mom doesn't want her to have a cat because she's not responsible. So Sophie takes the cat home and gets it all cleaned up. And it doesn't mean that it was perfect. I mean, she had problems getting it to get a bath, and then she gave it some tuna. And so she's showing that she changed. So how did Sophie change from the beginning of the story to the end of the story? And I would say she became responsible. Okay, but that's not a theme. That's kind of like the topic, the overall idea. So if I think of, and I'm going to put my little box here and I'm going to say the topic equals responsibility, then I have to think about a theme. What do we learn about responsibility? We can't just write that, and we can't just write you should be responsible. That is not a theme. So when we say theme, what message can you learn and can I learn? And it's not about a cat, it's about responsibility. So I would say that maybe we could write when a person wants something, but another person is in doubt of them, responsibility can change one's mind. Now, do you see what I did there? I had to think about what would that mean. So Sophie found a cat, but what if, whoops, responsibility. Yeah, well, what would happen if you wanted a new game and your mom says, no, you know what, you're not responsible enough, then you would have to make a change. You would have to become more responsible. So the topic is responsibility. Responsibility. Did I get it now? Responsibility can change one's mind. So when Sophie started showing that she could be responsible, it was able to change her minds. And you might even want to write something, there comes a time in life when responsibility, I must say matures, but I'm not really, there comes a time in life when responsibility happens and rewards are given. Okay, that can be what a theme is about. We're trying to make it more of a sentence that is the lesson that we learned. We don't just want to say you become responsible, you get what you want, because that's not really true. Okay, so then color in a detail or sentence that supports the theme. So, both of these are really kind of themes and they both go with responsibility. You need to go back and find, what do you think supports this? And that's important because that's text evidence. And if you don't have text evidence, you do not get counted as a correct answer. We have to have that text evidence. What in the text made you think that being responsible can change one's minds? And that's because her mom decided to let her keep the cat. Okay, color in. This supports the theme. Color in a sentence or detail that supports the theme. Explain in your own words. So I guess it's asking you for two different ways that help you know that. Okay, what was the challenge? Well, the challenge was that Sophie finds a cat and wants to keep it. So the challenge is the problem. Finds a cat and wants to keep it, but she knows her mom has said no in the past. Woo! Mine's going all the way across the screen. and return. Wants to keep it, but her mom has said no in the past because she hasn't shown responsibility, is what I'm thinking. Hasn't shown responsibility. Well, I keep spelling that word wrong. Responsibility. Okay, so that's the challenge. So what is Sophie's reaction? Well, I'm not going to type this one out for you, but Sophie's reaction is she goes home and she gets started on showing responsibility. She gives that cat a bath and she makes sure it's fed and whatever else she does in the story. So then does the reaction to the challenge, does that reaction support the theme? Yep, it sure does because it shows responsibility. So again, down here, don't just write yes. Boys and girls, we are trying to get you to write bigger, better responses. So restate that question. Does Sophia's reaction, restate that. Yes, comma, Sophie's reaction to the problem of wanting to keep the cat does support the theme. It supports the theme because we are talking about responsibility, and Sophie begins to show that. Maybe give me an example. She takes the cat home and cleans it up, comma, feeds it, and nicely shows it to her mom. Shows it to her mom. Okay, so again, 2, 3, 4 sentences. That's what your job is. Your job is not to write these quick little responses anymore. That's what we're working on. Okay, then write a summary. Remember, this is a fiction story, so you should do the somebody wanted, but, so, then. Okay, again, it should be about 5 sentences. You know, in this story, there is a girl named Sophie that finds a cat and wants to keep it. I'm going to go back to the story because Sophie, she met her, let's see, Sophie ran home with Ghost in her arms. Her mom wouldn't be home for an hour. Sophie put a plan into motion. That's in paragraph 3. So I'm going back down here and I'm adding that in to make mine very good here. I'm going to go down here. In paragraph 3, the author states that, quote, Sophie put a plan into action, unquote. And she wants to keep. This plan was to show responsibility. Now, am I using the word responsibility a lot? Yes. Oh, there I spelled it wrong again. We'll have to work on that one. Because that's your theme. That's your topic of this whole story. So somebody, in the story, there is a girl named Sophie. What about it? She finds a cat that she wants to keep. But, oh, I didn't write a but. It says in paragraph 3, puts a plan in action. This plan was to show responsibility. So I'm going to add my but right now. In the past, she has wanted a cat, but her mom has said no. Okay. So then what happens? So she puts that plan into action, and maybe I'd even go back and change that around. That's what you guys need. 5 or so sentences summarizing that. And don't forget capital letters. Don't forget to put a quote. Don't forget your periods and your punctuation. Okay, now, number 7. Why did Sophie's mother let her keep the kitten? Quote, right here, quote. if I can get that highlighter, quote. You have to have words from the story in your response. And then it's the suggested way of doing that is the author said, or according to the text, or tell me exactly where it is, like we did up above there. So, why did Sophie's mother let her keep the kitten? So, you're going to have to go back to the story. Sophie, we've talked about this. I don't think you're ready for the responsibility of the pet. Pets are so much work. They need to be bathed and fed and have their messes cleaned up. It's a huge job. But look what Sophie wrote. Mom, I know that it's a big responsibility and I'm ready for it. I found Ghost. He needed me. I brought him home. Where? I gave him a bath. I dried him and I fed him some tuna. I promise I will be responsible for him. You won't have to do anything. I would quote that. That right there is your evidence that the mom's thinking, okay, so, the girl's begging, please, please, please. And Sophie's mom looked at the gray kitten in the kitchen and she looked at Sophie's face. I guess you better go get your clothes changed so we can get going. Oh, we have to go to the animal shelter? Nope, I think you better get your clothes so we can run to the store and go some supplies. And think of a veterinarian. You mean I can keep him? Oh, Mom, this is the best day ever. I promise to care for Ghost. You won't be sorry. And she was hugging her mom. So Sophie was able to convince her mom. So then when I go back down here and I'm ready to write, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to write that from that quote. So I'm going to say, in the story, it says that Sophie's mom is not willing to let her keep the cat, but Sophie tells her mom how responsible she will be. In paragraph, and now I have to go back and I have to find that. Okay, I have to go all the way back. This is paragraph, so I'm going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one starts 5, which is going to go on to the next page. 5. Let's see. About that time her mom walked in. That's a paragraph by itself, even though it's one sentence. It's got a break in there, so that's 5. And then up here is 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? In paragraph 9, and then we have to actually quote it, says, I brought him home, gave him a bath, dried him, and fed him some tuna. Okay. Get my text back. In paragraph 9, Sophie says, comma, quotation marks, I brought him home, gave him a bath, dried him, and fed him tuna, period, end quote. This shows that Sophie has gained responsibility. Okay, then choose a sentence from the text that most shows what Sophie is like. What is she like? Is she a kind girl? Is she a mean girl? Is she a happy girl? Is she a encouraging girl? Is she a persuasive? Is she a funny girl? Is she an angry person? Find one paragraph, highlight it blue, and tell why you think that. You're giving your reasons. Okay? Have a great day.